Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Kayla Lords
John Brownstone.
of Loving BDSM, where we help Kingsters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. And we're back.
Yeah.
Because I can't quit a thing for whatever reason. We're always on the quest to see, can we make a short video that's actually informative.
That's true.
The 5 Things series, there's a whole playlist, is our effort. We're not very good at it, but we do try.
I think we do fairly well, all things considered.
Maybe. So this time we are taking a question we were asked in a previous episode, one of our BDSM Q&As, links in all the places, about submissive training. And it was a question that got me thinking that one, that's not something we talk about very often, and two, that there are probably a lot of misconceptions out there. So we are going to do a quick rundown of 5 things we think you need to know about that concept, submissive training.
Number 1, it's not required.
So submissive training, which is this idea that you will train your submissive, or a submissive needs to be trained in order to be a, quote, good submissive. In some circles is talked about like it's just a thing that's going to happen no matter what. It's a thing that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That is never true in BDSM, that something is always supposed to happen. Our personal rules about BDSM are the only 2 requirements are communication and consent. Toss everything else. If you've got those 2 things, you've got what you need. So, yes, you can investigate what submissive training might look like or mean for you, but you can also completely reject the idea and go, yeah, not interested. Both are valid.
And number 2, it can be formal or informal.
So when people talk about submissive training, many of them think of a very formalized thing where submissives are taught a set amount of skills, and unfortunately in the conversations about that more formal kind of training, there's some sense of conformity sometimes to it. Submissives need to learn these specific actions in these specific ways. There are times when that makes sense. We'll talk about it more, a little bit more in a later point, but there are formal trainings that a person can go to if they want to learn a very specific skill. I know Kingsters who love to perform butler service, maid service, boot blacking. Those are skills that do require sometimes a formal kind of training. But your submissive training, put some air quotes around that, can be completely informal, of one partner telling the other, this is how I like things to be done here, let me show you.
This is how I like my coffee made.
You trained me quite well.
Yes, I did.
I now make coffee better than you do.
You do. You do. You've raised the bar. Yeah. And that brings us to number 3. Training is usually ongoing.
So I see this a lot in the online spaces where there's somebody who says, I train submissives, you can, come be part of my group. And I have opinions on that. I don't know if this is the video for those opinions, but I have opinions on that. But they act like you do a series of tasks for a set amount of time and ta-da, you are, quote, trained. If you are learning a very specific skill, that might be kind of true, but like any skill you learn, practice is required. So in a way, training is ongoing. If, like us, you see training, again, I keep putting air quotes around that, training, as part of the relationship process between a dom and a sub, you are constantly learning how to do new things. You're hopefully constantly practicing your skills. There will be new things you want to learn how to do, or new activities you want to take on together or separately, or, things you'd like to change that require some level of practice and learning and trying new things. And that is an ongoing thing. That is not... learning didn't stop just because we graduated school, right? We should constantly be learning, maybe in different ways. BDSM is a journey where we are constantly learning new things. So if you accept the concept of submissive training as a submissive learning how to do specific things, either in general or for a specific dominant, that is an ongoing thing, because both of you will change and grow, and there will be more to learn throughout life, but in a smaller level, at least throughout your relationship.
At the very least. Number 4, communication and consent are required.
Yeah, there's no making assumptions that submissive training is a thing, or that because you did training either as a submissive or a dominant with a past relationship that's how it will work now, and you can just apply it. You have to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Both parties have to consent to it.
Absolutely.
And that does go for the other side. Just because you're a submissive who wants to be trained does not mean that a dominant is required to train you, even if you're in a relationship. Now, let's add a caveat to that. I do think that it is important that partners grow and learn together. And if you have a question about how your partner wants something done, yes, there's the expectation that they will tell you. But if you come up to your dominant with a laundry list of things and tasks that you expect them to teach you, and they don't want to teach you those things, that is their right to not give consent to that. So there should be no expectation that submissive training will automatically happen, that it is the same throughout, that you have to do it, that you have to participate. You talk about it. You negotiate it. It's like every other level of power exchange. You make it what works for you, but you have to talk about it and make sure both of you are on the same page about it and agree to it.
Absolutely. Which brings us to number 5. Training is best done with your partner.
So, I know. So this is going to be
So
controversial.
many thoughts.
So many thoughts. This is going to be a little controversial because I know there are kinksters who do not agree with that. Let me add a caveat to that. We already said it earlier. Said it, we'd come to this point. If you want to learn a very specific task or set of tasks in order to do within your power exchange that your partner wants to have done for them, and they are not qualified to teach you how to do those things, yes, there are trainings and classes and education you can get to learn those things. I already mentioned them. Butler service comes to mind, maid service. I can't think of what it's called, but the big dinners where there's
The high protocol dinners, they have some of those training. When a high protocol dinner is planned, many times they spend a year ahead training everybody before the dinner occurs.
And in that case, yeah, your partner may not be the best person to train you. And those are highly specific kink activities that require specialized training.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm thinking about.
Nor I.
When we say this point, I am thinking about, not always, but sometimes the predatory doms out there who are like, oh, submissives, I will train you and you will become the perfect submissive. Except that's not your partner. That's not who you're going to meet. And they've trained you to what they like, what they think BDSM is, what they think a submissive should do. And you may learn those skills and enjoy that, and that's fine. But that then may not at all apply to your actual power exchange
Or the
relationship.
lazy doms that expect somebody else to do the work for them.
Right. Well, there's also that. I'll train you to do everything and then I never have to do anything. Or I call it training, but really I just tell you what to do or throw out some expectations and give no feedback on how to do that. In our opinion, submissive training really is, outside of those specialized skills, best done between you and a partner.
Because the submissive is learning to serve their partner.
Or just to do what their partner
Right.
wants them to do in the way that they would really like them to do it. Again, you have to consent to that, and you get
Absolutely,
to say no.
yes.
But what good does it do you to learn what this random online dominant wants in a submissive if your next dominant doesn't want any of that doesn't align with their kinks? You've learned how to serve. You've gotten that experience. And I think that is more valuable in some ways than calling it training. You're not trained to do anything. You got to experience a level of submission through another person, but they didn't train you for anything. Because here's the reality. Most of the time, from partner to partner to partner, they will want different things. They will have different expectations. Even if they want the same thing, they may want you to do it in completely different ways. And if you walk up and go, well, I'm totally trained, you don't have to tell me anything. You may give a partner technically what they want, but not in the way they want it.
Just like anything else in life, DS is not cookie cutter.
No. And that's the problem I have with some of those online training programs where one dominant online, you may never see them, know their name, have an actual connection with them, puts out those cookie cutter tasks that may not even be unique to you and your own desires, and then labels you trained. Trained for who? Trained for that person.
Right.
Now, because I know I can hear angry submissives and dominants out there. Let me be clear. If you go through that and you enjoy it for the experience it is, wonderful. Right. That's what you're getting, is an experience. You're getting a submissive experience. But you are not like ready to go out and find a random dom and go, guess what? Don't worry. You don't have to train me. I know how to do all the submissive things. Which submissive things? Are they based on your new partner's preferences? Are they even aligned with your partner's kinks? Do they want that from a submissive partner? So if you think of submissive training as the act of learning what it means to be a submissive in this power exchange, then that is best done with your partner. Minus highly specific skills that do require actual training. Just before anybody gets mad at us in the comments, okay? Okay, so that's a real quick rundown.
Yeah.
It is, for all the people who ask us, and we get this question all the time, how do I do submissive training? We cannot give you a checklist of do these things beyond this, which is make it your own, talk to each other about what you want, adapt to the needs and abilities of each other. You can want your submissive to do 85 kneeling positions. If their body will not allow them to kneel, you don't get to have that from your submissive. Don't even try to train them. Train them to do something else. Think of training as learning, not, even though I know there's definitely a kink for like pet training, in this context, training is learning how to be in the relationship and how to be the best partner you can be. In this case, it's specific to submissives. When I think of submissive training, I think of it as learning each other and learning what each other likes. And I'm going to say something sacrilegious. We don't call it this, but there's dominant training too. I have taught, put air quotes around that word, in subtle ways, John Brownstone, what I can handle, what I can't, what I like, what I don't.
That's true.
So he knows, because he's been educated through experience in our relationship, what he can and can't do.
Yeah.
We didn't call it training. It's not formal. But he learned lessons along the way that have something to do with how we relate to one another, and that inform how we interact with one another. So just something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, did we piss everybody off? Are you mad in the comments? If you're mad in the comments, our only rule is don't be an asshole. We will link to anything and everything we've ever said or written about submissive training if you'd like to do a deep dive, especially that BDSM Q&A where we do take on that question. It's one of many, but it's in there. And if you have gone through submissive training, the online kind that then did not apply to your relationship, specialized training to learn a very specific skill, training in your own power exchange, feel free to comment below with other things you think people need to know about it as they explore it and get into it and think about it for themselves. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, if you enjoyed the video, we love a thumbs up. If we didn't completely annoy the hell out of you, consider subscribing.
And also hit the notification bell and get updated when we have new content.
Okay, just do what Daddy says. If you really, really like what we do, want us to do more of it, want to get some special perks like a Discord server to talk about these things, live Q&As and live streams and podcasts, oh my, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/KaylaLords. Bye.